The following podcast is a deep, shallow dive production.
Okay, let's go.
Hey everybody, hope this finds you well, and good news, I am no longer going to use the word maiden, so no more maiden in any of these episodes. But hey, listen, today I am doing a test of a new segment where basically it's a bonus from the previous segment that quickly is going to cover some of the things that I either did not cover or actually even better, but feedback that came from the last episode that I do want to, share and cover, but it doesn't necessarily require even a full 10 minutes. So that is what we're doing today. And we're going to call these, I think we're going to call them Call a Spade a Spade. Okay, so in episode number 6, I talked about term limits, and really I focused it on Republican Senate Minority Leader, Senator from the great state of Kentucky, Mitch McConnell, as well as then talked about Senator Dianne Feinstein from my current home state of California. All right, so I've got to call a spade on this, and I had a few friends, chime in and say, oh my God, I can't believe they don't make McConnell retire, but they mentioned nothing about Dianne Feinstein. And so obviously I thought to myself, okay, they're probably, on the Democrat side. And I had a few friends immediately kind of talk about Dianne Feinstein and say, wow, this is nothing compared to, Dianne Feinstein. She's 90 years old, actually. I found that out. I thought she was 81, then 89. She's actually 90. And so I did have a few people kind of gravitate directly in the direction of, instead of addressing McConnell, they jumped to Feinstein. And by the same token, instead of addressing Feinstein, they keyed on McConnell. And so honestly, gosh, I'm really glad this happened because I think it's the perfect, absolutely perfect analogy and absolutely perfect, case study in how we've got to rise above this stuff and call a spade, okay? If you are a Democrat, you've got to acknowledge that Dianne Feinstein should not be a senator anymore. 2 weeks ago, actually, I think about a week ago, there was another clip of her that was circulating where it was on the Senate floor and she started rambling on about something and her handler said, just say yay, basically meaning, listen, just say yay, we need you for this vote, stop talking and just say yay. Seriously, think about that. I don't even know what the vote was on, but basically they had her there to get a yay vote, So let me share some more details on Dianne Feinstein. She's actually 90 years old. She joined the Senate in 1992, so she's been there for 31 years. That's an amazing career. And here's the other thing. Her salary is $174,000 a year. And in 2023, through Forbes, her net worth was estimated at $220 million. Now let's call a spade and get into Mitch McConnell. He's 81 years old, and like I said, from the great state of Kentucky. I always wanted to say from the great state of something, and it feels like Kentucky. It's a good state. Yeah, I grew up in Ohio, so Kentucky was always nice. Anyway, he actually joined the Senate in 1984. I thought it was 94. So he's had a 40-year run in the Senate, a 40-year run. His salary, $193,000. His net worth, 2023, according to Forbes, estimated at $54.56 million. So again, I'll get into that one at another time. But here are two people who completely do not need to keep working for any financial issues. And so obviously there is other things and other reasons why each of their respective parties is keeping them around. Come on. We gotta call a spade on this stuff. We've gotta rise above this stuff. We've gotta stop being divided and distracted by noise and call a spade a spade. Both of them should be enjoying this section or stage of their life. They should be spending time and doing, quite frankly, whatever they want to do. But they should not be in the United States Senate. They should not be trusted or given the opportunity to vote in things that matter to the 300 and some odd million people that live here, and quite frankly, the rest of the world, if you think about it. Anyway, I'm really glad this came up because this is the exact reason why I started this podcast, because I want to look at everything through the lens of common sense. And the lens of common sense on this one tells me that if you start this conversation keying on one of these two people, that's not common sense. You should be keying on both of them. They both should not be in these roles anymore. So I'm really glad this came up because, again, to me, this is the exact type of thing, as I said earlier, that divides us and distracts us when in reality it should unite us. We should all be on the same page about this. We should all want more from our elected leaders and our elected factions of government. We deserve more. We should demand more. And so again, in this example, you've got a Republican, you've got a Democrat. They've both had illustrious careers. They've served their country. Again, whether you like them or you don't, that doesn't matter. They've served their country. They've done their duty. And now they need to retire. They needed to probably retire years ago, both of them. And so my request / challenge / I don't even know what to you is, as we try and find the truth, rise above all this, rise above what the natural inclination is, or quite frankly, rise above what the media narrative is. And let's just look at all this through common sense, the lens of common sense. And common sense tells me that neither Dianne Feinstein nor Mitch McConnell should be in these roles. Anyway, that's it. Test episode of Call a Spade a Spade. I hope you enjoyed it. Would love your feedback, and take care, everybody. Oh, and remember, always call a spade a spade. Dang, I almost forgot my own outro tagline when the episode is literally the tagline. All right, always remember, call a spade a spade. Almost got fired on my day off.
This episode was brought to you by Boost Liquid Vitamins. Wake up, take your Boost, start your day. Drink your vitamins, build your immune system with Boost. Available on Boost.com.